Welcome back. In video 1, we configured the canvassing workflow, choosing statuses for reps to tap and mapping each one to a performance category. Now we're going to look at what that configuration actually produces, the canvassing activity report. This is where you see everything your reps have done in the field, organized by the performance categories you set up. We'll cover 3 things in the next 7 minutes: how to read the report and customize the view, what the difference between strict and inferred columns means, and how to use the location data on the activity detail page to verify field activity. If you haven't watched video 1, you can still follow along, but the performance category concepts from that video underpin everything we're about to look at. Here's the canvassing activity report. At the top, set a date range and click Refresh Activity. The Columns button is where you control what the report actually looks like, and that's worth a slide by itself. The Export button downloads summary totals as a file. This is the slide I want every admin to remember. The columns of the activity report are fully customizable. Click the Columns button, check the ones you want, uncheck the rest. Your selection persists across sessions. This matters because the default view doesn't show every column. Some of the most useful ones, particularly the strict versus inferred pairs we're about to discuss, are hidden until you turn them on. Tailor the view to what you're actually trying to measure. Don't accept the default. Design it. Here's the slide most admins want a screenshot. In the report, you'll see column pairs, for example, attempts and attempts S, or leads and leads S. The lowercase s in parentheses stands for strict. Strict columns count only what a rep explicitly recorded. They tapped a status whose performance category indicates that thing happened. The column without the suffix is the inferred version. It counts the strict total plus any additional activity the system can reasonably deduce. If a rep skipped past the middle of the funnel and went straight to lead, the system infers an attempt must have happened to produce that lead and counts it. Strict tells you what was deliberately recorded. Inferred tells you total real-world activity. Neither is more correct than the other. They answer different questions. The gap between them shows you how often reps are skipping ahead in the funnel. And if you hover over any column header in the report, a tooltip tells you which version you're looking at. So which one should you use? It depends on the question. If you want to know how disciplined your team is about documenting each step, look at the strict columns. If you want to know what's really happening in the field, look at the inferred columns. And looking at the gap between the two is itself useful. If leads shows 191 and leads S shows 162, that gap of 29 represents leads that materialized without an explicit attempt being logged first. That tells you something about both your team's habits and the realities of door-to-door work. Click on any number in the summary table, for example, a rep's contact made total, and you drill into the activity detail page. The header confirms which activity type you're looking at, like contacts made. Below it is a chronological list of every status change that contributed to that number, with the status applied, the timestamp, the marker address, any notes the rep left, and the prior status. The progression, for example, a marker moving from no answer to lead, tells you the story of the fieldwork. But the most powerful column on this page is the one showing distance and direction. That's the next slide. This is one of the most valuable features in the entire platform, and a lot of admins don't realize it exists. Every time a sales rep applies or updates a marker status in the mobile app, the system captures their GPS location at that exact moment. On the activity detail page, the activity location map shows 2 pins, the marker icon at the address being worked, and a red pinpoint showing where the rep actually was. Next to each entry, you see distance and direction. This lets you verify that field activity is genuinely happening at the door. Here's what to actually look for. This is one rep's activity on a single day. Start with the entries showing 0 feet. Those don't mean the rep was at the door. They mean no GPS was captured at all, because the marker was created or updated from the desktop, not the mobile app. You'll see this for things like signed contracts where the rep closes the paperwork at the office, or for markers created in bulk before reps go out. So 0 feet is neither good nor bad. It's just a gap in the verification data. The entries to focus on are the ones with real distance readings. 53 feet north, 219 feet east, 764 feet east-southeast. Those are mobile app activity at or near the property. GPS isn't perfectly precise, and reps move around as they work an address, so a few hundred feet is exactly what you'd expect for genuine field activity. The 0.4 miles west is still credible because it's in the same neighborhood. The rep was working that block. What you'd be watching for is an entry showing many miles away from the address while everything else is close. That would tell you something didn't happen at the door. In this example, every distance reading we have is consistent with genuine field work. That's the pattern of a rep who's actually knocking doors. 3 practical applications. For new reps, this is how you confirm they're actually getting to the door. Sometimes new reps batch update markers from their car at end of day, which inflates the strict counts without reflecting real door knocks. For tenured reps, occasional spot checks build trust. And for performance reviews, the numeric totals tell you how much your reps did, but the location data tells you whether it really happened the way the numbers suggest. Use them together. 4 takeaways. Customize your column view. Understand strict versus inferred. Drill into activity detail to see the story behind each number. And use the distance and direction data to verify that your reps are where they say they are. Combined with what you learned in Video 1 about performance categories, you now have everything you need to design a workflow and read what it produces.
Thanks for watching. Call us if you have any questions.